the internet, and welcome to season 359, episode 5 of DAILY ZEITGEIST, a production of iHeartRadio. We're America's only undecided podcast, and yeah.
Who do you like? Who do you like? I think Trump just said that Kamala should concede because she was on 60 Minutes, and I think he has a point.
He makes some interesting points. They both make such interesting points. Here's the thing. I like them both so much. I just don't know who to choose.
I think, and also for me personally, as a biracial Black and Asian person, his commentary on racial identity was really poignant. And I really had to think, what am I really? Who am I? So
did you see the New York Times headline that talked about how he has always had a passion for genetics? Instead of an interest in genetics or something like that.
Wow.
Like Trump talks about race and genes revealing
a side hobby
held.
Aspiring eugenicist.
Like he's a polymath who's just, this is one of many interests.
What a fucking mess.
Anyways, this is a podcast. And it's also a place where we take a deep dive into America's shared consciousness. And it's Friday, October 11th, 2024.
Yeah, 10/11.
11.
It's
12? No, just
maybe.
10/11.
Well, not this week, but it is National Coming Out Day. It is National Sausage Pizza Day and National General Pulaski Memorial Day. I remember this happening last time, and I was like, who is General Pulaski? And it was a Polish immigrant who was serving in the Continental Army.
Hey, happy National Coming Out Day to all who are celebrating. Good luck to all who are partaking. Takes a lot more courage than anything I've ever had to do in my life. So truly,
true.
Good luck. All right. My name is JackO'Brien, a.k.a. You can Vance if you want to.
Oh.
You can cream your couch tonight. But if your friends vote Vance, then there is a chance you could lose reproductive rights.
Oh.
That one, courtesy of Hamburger Time. Yes. A throwback to when we still hadn't quite shaken the undeniable feeling we all have that this guy fucks couches.
Yeah.
And we don't notice it that much anymore. So I feel like that means it's just a part of us. Like JD Vance's couch fucking energy is just in our bones.
It's water now around us.
Yeah, it's just
we're the fish and water.
It is our water.
Yeah, right.
He fucks them.
And that's for goddamn sure.
He fucks them.
I wonder how we'll handle that on the video episode. Just a disembodied voice because we haven't introduced him.
Well, it could just be maybe a bottle of cold brew or something with it.
Bottle of cold brew. Anyways, I'm thrilled to be joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Miles Gray.
It's Miles Gray, aka her name is Mudang. I have a dream about her splashing again. Hose bath in half an hour. Oh, how she rocks. I watch her TikToks. I know she will never see. I want her to bite my knee. 'Cause she's just a pygmy hippo, baby. Yeah, she's just a pygmy hippo, baby. Her skin is so very slippo, baby. Oh, yeah. Ooh, shout out to Cheese Baby Nice on the Discord for that.
Cheese Baby Nice.
Wheatus classic teenage dirtbag. Shout out Wheatus. Where you been?
Her skin is so very slippo.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
I can't believe nobody had pointed that out to me before.
Oh, you can tell from the pictures.
Man, that song was really one of my faves for like a month there.
Really?
From the pictures of me at that time.
Anyways, didn't know. I didn't know.
Miles, we are thrilled to be joined in our third seat. Holy shit. It is a hilarious stand-up comedian, actor, musician. You can listen to his podcast, Cold Brew Got Me Like, anywhere. And his book, The Advice King Anthology, is available now anywhere fine books are sold. The poetry window is open because it's Chris motherfucking Crofton!
Yes!
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
look, I got
Chris.
TVs in my. Look at this. Look at these glasses. I got the whole show.
TV eyes, Crofton.
Little behind the scenes.
Old blue screen eyes. Good to see you, man. Good
And
have
nice to see you guys too. It's been a little while. I was supposed to do one earlier, but I can't remember what happened. I had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where I had to go.
Where?
I had to deliver Robbie Robertson's belongings across the country. I had to cancel because I got a high-paying gig to drive from Los Angeles to Nashville, like a U-Haul full of Robbie Robertson's stuff. Because my friend works for this company that bought, he works for this humongous company that bought Robbie Robertson's like likeness and everything, including like his shoes.
Oh, wow.
So like I was driving with like his clothes.
Just in a U-Haul?
Yes.
Going across
the whole country.
With Bob Dylan's guitarist's shit in a van?
I had a Les Paul, I don't know, it was like a $5,000. It was probably one of those things that he
probably
got
worth
given.
more if it's Robbie Robertson.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like the band, they were kind of a big deal.
And I was stopping in, the middle of New Mexico and like staying in motels, and if someone grabbed that guitar, they definitely would not know that it was. Obviously, they wouldn't know it was his. They just pawn it for like $50. So
now you tell us.
But yeah, I was. Anyway, that's what I was doing last time. I just got this hot gig driving a U-Haul.
Wait a minute, it was a success?
I got it.
You got
it back, and nobody took any of his pants or anything.
Okay,
but
you didn't.
You said that like you might have taken some of his pants.
I wanted to get in the back. I wanted to get in the back and like look around, but I had no time. It was like they needed it back like in the exact amount of time it takes to drive across the country. So I couldn't even get in the back and try on his slacks.
What's that trip like? Well, how long is that?
30 hours, 29 to 30 hours. I did.
So would you do it in 2 days?
3. I can't drive 15 hours, and I can drive 10 hours, and even that's pretty.
That's
gets pretty
rough,
weird,
sure.
But I like that.
Yeah.
I like that middle of the night driving, listening to music you hate.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden sounds awesome. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, like you're like "Party in the USA" is the greatest song by Miley Cyrus. Is like the best song you ever heard because it's just because you've been up for 90 hours and you're like, this stuff is actually pretty good. Why am I so hard on her?
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
God.
Party. I can just picture you losing it behind the wheel. It's 3 a.m.
Oh, I'm not kidding. That's my favorite part. It's like you're young again. You're listening to trash music and smoking cigarettes and considering relapsing. It's great.
Sleep deprivation is very that's how they often describe it. They're like, okay, so this amount of sleep deprivation is the equivalent of like 2 drinks. And this amount of sleep deprivation is the equivalent of 3 to 4 drinks. Yeah. They're in sleep
so no
studies.
wonder I was having so much fun in the middle of the night. I was drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. I didn't know, but I was having so much fun. Yeah. And I listened to songs like, Genesis songs like, Invisible Touch or something, which is a really bad song. And I'm like, this is a pretty good song.
Are you catching these on the radio? You just listening to like local
going
radio?
Through Spotify or the radio.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay. I mean, the radio, if you're in the middle of like, anywhere from like New Mexico to Nashville, really, it seems like it's all Bible. I mean, it's all preachers.
A lot of Bible.
It's just preachers and songs about and Christian rock and like Christian
songs about Christ.
It's insane.
None of that spoke to you?
Well, it's all like mixed.
That's what it's there for, man. It's just
I want to get this right. So Miley Cyrus, got lit a fire under you, but the word of Christ did nothing for you, huh?
Well,
he's just putting his hand out. You can choose to accept it or not.
Look at it. If it was the straight,
he's just there to shake your hand.
If it was the straight word of Christ and it wasn't mixed in with MAGA, maybe I would.
Could you imagine?
Maybe
you're like
I would.
Listening like, oh. And he said unto them, and you're like, hold on, let me turn
Wait
this
a
up.
second.
Yeah.
And there's a way we can interpret this passage to mean that he was mad at migrants.
Right.
So I don't like that. Like if they were doing straight Christianity, I would like that.
Sure.
Maybe, but I mean, there'd be no market. No one would tune in to be like, hear a station that said like, share your belongings.
What the fuck? This Christ fucker's off his rocker,
This guy's
man.
fucking. Jesus has the woke mind virus. So
I don't
anyway,
know, man. I'm kind of glad they nailed him up, man. If he was talking this kind of nonsense, you know what I mean?
It was socialist. It was socialism.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris, we're going to get to know you a little bit better. But first, we're going to tell the listeners some things we would theoretically be talking about later in the episode, were we to ever get to those things.
Yes.
Okay.
And we will endeavor to.
Yeah, of course, always. We have the LAPD is starting to use their robot dog, and there are some media accounts that are just kind of interesting. Like one called Meet Spot, the LAPD's new crime-fighting robot dog.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he sounds neat.
Crime
he sounds
fighting.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, so it fights.
Yeah.
Dear God.
They always compare him to a golden retriever, most friendly. They're like, he's like a 70-pound golden retriever if it had a snake for a head.
Right.
Anyways.
And you couldn't stop it.
Yeah, you truly just can't stop it. We will talk about Jamie Kennedy seems to be doing well, so we'll check in with that. Donald Trump seems to have a good grasp of his favorite movies when he recites their plot line. So we'll talk about some of that stuff theoretically. All of that, plenty more. But first, Chris Crofton. Yeah. We do like to ask our guest, that's you, what is something from your search history that's revealing about who you are?
Well, you're not going to believe this, you guys, but this week we're on the damn TV. So we're on the internet television. So we can show the
some people.
We can show the damn things that I fuck with, as the kids say.
I know. This is very exciting.
I also have an AKA, but I want to at least shout out the guy who gave me the AKA, and I'll study better last time because I thought I knew the tune to Chiquita by
Chiquita.
ABBA. Is it just Chiquita? I think they say Chiquita, don't you know, or something. Anyway, he did a nice AKA for me, and I can't sing it because I thought I knew. Like if it was to Dancing Queen, I'd be fine. Yeah. But it's like a deep cut in a way out of their greatest hits.
Midnight.
Yeah, Chiquita, and but I'll read it because what the heck. Hi.
So this will be a recitation. Okay.
Hi, I'm back on the Daily Zeitgeist. Jack and Miles, check out this new old beer bottle. Some guy found in a cave, or so I'm told. He sent it to me. Zeitgang, thank you for the applause. It's an honor to hang out with the wet boys. Allow me to take a sip of my cold brew, start vibrating into a high dimension. I'm sure that's much better with the tune that this man intended. But his name is Oscar Ramirez Bonilla, and I would like to thank him for that. And I will next time, Omar, I can't even read. Omar Ramirez. These glasses are like, whatever.
They're fake. They're fake glasses. They're just for the look.
Omar
Chris doesn't wear glasses.
Ramirez Bonilla. So thank you, Omar. Anyway, so this week we've got some videos. Like I just recently discovered the SMU, the university, Southern Methodist University, has uploaded, like somehow gotten their hands on all of the old news reports from the 70s and has uploaded a huge amount of it, like digitized it. And I just want to thank the SMU, Southern Methodist University, for doing this, because a lot of places like WGBH in Boston has a great Instagram account and Twitter account where they basically just put up digitized B-roll of old news reports. So it's just like a 3-minute piece of, Harvard Square in 1983, it was something they shot for Atmosphere, and they'll put the whole thing up. So I wish so much that Nashville would do that. So anyway, I'm just glad when they do this. There's a bunch of archives that maybe the news channels donate their archival footage to the university or whatever. And but someone has to digitize it. So shout out to whoever at Southern Methodist University is putting up stuff like this, which is, I clicked on it because it's a news report about a nail transplant. Like it says, get nail transplants for your fingernails.
That sounds horrible. That sounds like a body horror.
Well, yeah, it sounds. I mean, I clicked on it like thinking it was a surgical procedure, but it turns out they've overhyped it just a bit.
October 1975.
It's just the most Crofton shit. Like, dude, a fingernail transplant in Dallas in 1975.
Well, okay. I thought this was going to be like an operating table, but it turns out it's just a nail salon.
Well, let's find out together.
Yeah. Okay.
Vicky Reich is getting a fingernail transplant.
I mean, it's what
the
you'd
procedure
expect.
Will cost her about $30 for a thumb to pinky job on both hands.
A thumb to
The
pinky
salon
job.
runs classified ads to find people whose nails have broken off who are willing to sell what's broken off for 20
No.
cents to $1.50 each. Their nails are used
Wait.
to make other people's nails longer and stronger.
We first
What?
apply the glue that's very special.
And now they're just gluing-
Yeah, so
They're
fingernail
gluing
trans.
old fingernails on.
Yeah,
older
so-
fingernails.
So it turns
Like,
out a
before the
fingernail
creation.
fingernail transplant might be a little bit of an overstatement.
I mean, yes, but also no. Like, I assume this was just the invention of like the Lee press-on nail, but like they are like
It's the precursor.
the thing that they're putting on the tip of somebody's finger looks
Yeah.
like yellowed.
Yeah,
and
it's somebody's-
like the worst case scenario for someone's
It's a
fingernail
corpse's.
clipping.
It's a corpse's fingernail.
Yeah,
They're like
Um,
like it's not even, these aren't like clean breaks too. It looks like they were traumatically broken off, like these
Yeah.
fingernail
Well,
tips.
so the audio on there is kind of bad, which you might expect because it's like a digitized piece of footage that someone probably tried to destroy at some
Yeah.
point. But yeah, it ends up they're paying like $1.50 a bag for fingernail clippings, and then they're gluing them on people's fingers and calling it a fingernail transplant and charging $30. And they act like it's like some major step forward. And they also talk about how it's like, they're like, why do you need these nails to be so long? And she's like, well, I work as a data entry person, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It
What do
seems
you-
like it would make it harder to put in data entry if you have
Yeah.
really long nails. But then it's also for personal reasons, which makes me think running them across your lover's back and they're someone else's goddamn fingernails. That's fucked.
yeah.
Like your first thought is like,
Or is it like kind of hot?
Yeah.
You know? Or are they
Well,
super
maybe,
into
yeah,
it
I mean,
and they're
yeah,
like,
And
Yeah,
is that
until you find
cheating?
out it's a truck driver's fingernails, you imagine that there's some hot.
beautiful nails for a truck driver, I must say.
the nails,
For how long
I don't
they-
know, man. One of those nails that they cut to in one of the close-ups looked like it was a fingernails.
Yeah,
It looked like a trucker's
Hello,
toenail.
yeah. Listen, do you guys take whole hands, or do I have to just do I
Yeah,
have to
right.
get do I have to take the nail? I want the $1.50. I need a beer.
Well, and also, is it like a red flag if someone pulled up with just a bag of Lucy's like that?
That's
It's
what
like,
I'm talking about,
"Oh, dude. I think I
what,
got
like
yeah, I got $50 worth in
Oh
here. I
my
think
God.
we good. They're like, I might have to call a homicide detective.
every
Just-
alcoholic in Dallas was pulling off everybody's fingernails at the bus stop. I mean, that's not good. That's like having a bounty on fingernails.
Right. It was
And
the-
also then you get anyway, I just couldn't believe that was what they
Catalytic-
call the fingernail transplant.
they were catalytic converters before catalytic converters. Just like, oh wow, you got a lovely hand
That's
and nails there.
funny. That's funny.
Just popping them off. I'm like, yo, man, we can get
Yeah.
fucking cream for this.
Just copper wiring. Yeah. It also just great room tone of, just what everybody's wearing, the hair. You get the sense that this was a time when people still got up for like the local news coming through the salon.
Oh, of course.
Like they had, the hair was up, the, cute outfits were on. I'm into
I just
it.
love just the people that have gathered, because it's clear that they're like, the news is going to come by to talk about my revolutionary finger transplant procedures that I do. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
But there's more.
There's
Vanity
more.
involved, too.
There's also a guy in the background who I think he's just in it for
dude, the fucking LBJ tapes are clearer than this shit. What the fuck?
yeah, he worked in the law office next door and he just came in.
Yeah, just
So
checking it out.
okay, so that one has bad audio though. Let's check out
Oh,
so now I would just recommend the whole SMU archive is great.
Wait.
And there's like
one question, Chris. I'm
Yes.
looking at this YouTube video. It says it was uploaded 23 hours ago. So you caught this shit like within moments of it hitting the internet.
Look at-
This
when
fingernail
you find
transplant?
something, when you find a passion, when you find something you love, you go after it. If you're
You
me,
just got your alert set up. You're like, ooh, what do you got
Listen.
for me, SMU archives?
when I was drunk, I might have let these opportunities slide by,
Right,
but
right.
now I'm ready.
You're vigilant.
I'm
Yeah,
seizing
yeah.
the
Eternal
seizing
vigilance.
the day.
You're just laying in your bed with your eyes open, and then you just get a notification.
Ding!
You
Oh
just
my
bolt
God!
upright.
Yeah.
Someone at Southern Methodist University uploaded another film strip.
Do you have somebody inside the digitization room who like alerted you?
No,
Was
but
like, Chris,
I want to.
We've got something you might want to look
I
at.
want to. I used to think I wanted to date Nicola White Mudlark, but it turns out I want to date the video uploader at Southern Methodist University. Like, I need to call them up and find out who knows? That's probably my match, Like,
what a find, though. Amazing.
Well, there's also like a film festival called the American or the USA Film Festival, which started in Dallas. I guess SMU's in Dallas. And so it's all Dallas related stuff, but there's a whole documentary on there, basically a 20-minute interview with a pawn shop owner.
I'm looking at that.
That's amazing.
Honest Joe.
Yeah, that's great. You could show a little of that if you wanted. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this thing, but you can just find them on your own. Whatever. What am I talking about? You can find them on your own.
SMU archive.
There's this thing called YouTube.com.
Yeah. Okay. And
the internet is truly worldwide.
No, you're not going to believe this. You can find this on your own. Go to youtube.com. Put in the words SMU archive spelled with a CH.
Oh, wow.
https://
a panel discussion on birth control from the early 1970s.
That's the kind of shit I'm upstairs watching for real.
Right? I'm just kind of like, where does this go?
Would believe that.
Although I'm curious if it'll just be like more progressive than it is now.
Yeah, I'm just more into it for the outfits because I'm
That's
like, man,
me
these
too.
costumes
Me too.
are good. These costumes are great. What? They're not costumes? Okay.
Well, because everyone was improvising their outfit. They didn't have like an internet reference. They were just like, this looks good, and then they left the house. Like they had no, and then everybody else was like, what the hell's that? And they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I read it.
But if everybody is giving off looks that warrant a what the hell is that, then nobody is. Right. Then everyone's like, this is just what we look like in this decade. Right.
So let's have some fun.
These glasses are fine.
Yeah, where's the instant coffee at?
Yeah. So the SMU archive also just, interesting viewing for people. Like any of these videos, you can be like, just 10 years ago, these are the people who killed John F. Kennedy. So this person might have been
never know.
Close enough to see what
there's actually
happened.
An interview with Marguerite Oswald. Oswald's mother. That's right.
But it's her talking about recipes.
Right. Yeah. Miley loves my tuna noodle casserole.
So there's that. And then I wanted to, if you want to show just the opening of, now this is my life's mission. Like, I'm glad guys should go to the SMU archive and look at like people with giant collars talking about voting or whatever they did.
Right.
There's a story on everything and also on inflation. Like everything we're talking about now has been talked about before by people with giant collars.
Right.
And you can see that all on
we stand on the shoulders of giants and have trouble balancing because their collars are so big. They keep knocking our feet off.
We're in a loop. We're just wearing very boring clothes.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
So this is like the devil at your heels to me is like something that God gave us. Mm-hmm. Like God gave us devil at your heels.
Is this your underrated? Are we moving along?
Okay, yeah, sure. If you want, underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Let's make this your underrated.
That's great.
Okay.
Jack's like,
let's try and maybe make it conform to the format.
Show. There's a show happening here.
So this will be your piece of media.
The show is not called SMU Archive. It's called the Daily Zeitgeist.
Hey, Chris.
And I invented it. And I invented it. God damn it.
I did. I invented the whole concept of a zeitgeist. It's
not called SMU Archive.
Hey, we actually cut those parts out, so they don't know that that's an exact, accurate impression of me when the cameras aren't rolling. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
What's something you think is underrated?
Thank you, host of the Daily Zeitgeist, JackO'Brien. I think that something underrated is the movie Devil at Your Heels. It's a documentary I've mentioned, I think, before on this show many, many years ago, maybe.
Like an early reference to this, yeah.
Yes, it's one of my favorite things, and it turns out it's almost impossible to make someone watch a documentary. You can tell them about it over... You can tell them about it over, and you can make it your life's mission to use every breath in your body to tell people about this movie, Devil at Your Heels, and no one will watch it no matter what.
I just love that as a truism about human experience. No matter how much you fucking love a documentary, it is almost impossible to get somebody to watch
I feel like
a
the only way I've done it is to be like, it's gonna fuck you up. There's such a twist in it. I feel like the only time I've gotten people to watch a documentary was that one about like the tickle tournaments and shit.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
It started one way and then
Ticklish,
goes another way. Every other time I talk about it's true. Like they're like, oh yeah, I'll check it out.
Well, what makes me mad is American Cinematheque in LA, like somebody just showed it. They just showed Devil at Your Heels. The only print in the world. They showed it in LA.
Oh, really?
And like my friend Seth, who I've told about, who's directing a documentary about me, ding, and it's done. It's done. I'll mention that. Maybe I'll mention that'll be underrated. Or overrated. So overrated will be like not knowing about that documentary or something.
Okay.
So see what I did?
That's
so
called
I do it every
improv,
time.
baby.
It's amazing.
We do it every day.
Oh, so cool. I'm so cool. So anyway, The Devil at Your Heels is just a great movie about a guy who's like a dreamer, and he's trying to jump a car over the St. Lawrence Seaway, which is like a half mile to a mile wide. And he is so damn genuine and earnest that he manages to get the ramp built, and he sort of gets it to happen in a roundabout way. But there's a twist in the movie too, and the movie also includes why Eastbound and Down's main character is named Kenny Powers, because Kenny Powers is without a doubt the reference to this movie, which is Kenny Powers is the guy who ends up jumping the car. The way that we end up with that is like so neat. But also, I'm just hoping on this show you guys will see it. And now that American Cinematheque has gotten on board, whatever, you guys will all be like, oh my gosh, you'll smoke pipes and talk about it. And I'm so mad. So Seth finally went and saw it when it was in LA. And he's like, that documentary was incredible. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can't watch this now. Like there's no win for me at this point. If I watch it now, you're gonna be like, yeah, exactly.
No, it's fine.
That's what I thought.
No, it's true.
That's what I thought.
You need this show. This is a perfect vehicle. So let's roll the very beginning. It's
roll the very. Here we go.
It's a Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. It's a Canadian broadcasting company, so it's public domain. It's a great resource. Also, Canadian broadcasting company posts all their great stuff. I just want to show people the ramp, and I feel like then people will be on board. You know,
people will understand.
Yeah, as soon as
do you see?
Do you see how reckless we were?
But are you guys gonna?
Yes. Here we go. Oh, I love that logo. National Film Board of Canada. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a poorly built ramp.
There it is.
Wow.
Wait. I'm sorry. So
he's gonna try and jump that body of water
with
that ramp.
Yes. And
on what?
In a Lincoln Continental with wings on it. And he gets pretty damn far. And he gets a lot of experts on board with him. He gets someone to put the wings on the car. He gets this expert guy to say that he's like, well, I don't know how he can do it, but once he's up there, these wings will work. He can steer in the air. I don't see how he's going to get up there, but these will work if he does. I mean, he's like, this whole thing sounds unlikely to me, but if he does get up in the air and he is cruising, he will be able to move the car with these wings.
Wow.
So it's like, also he can't swim.
What?
Ken Carter can't swim.
So the guy is getting in a winged Lincoln Continental trying to jump across a fucking river. Do you know I'm sure you've seen the documentary. What is that distance exactly he has to go across? It's
supposed to be a half mile.
Mile or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible he's planning on going 600 miles an hour off the ramp, but he has a jet car.
600 miles?
Yeah, it's a jet car. And it does go like 290 miles an hour off the ramp when it eventually goes, but that's not nearly enough to get to cruising altitude, it turns out.
Okay.
So he never gets, but anyway, and Ken Carter's just awesome. He's like a grade school dropout or like a high school, maybe he says fourth grade, but I think in Canada that means something else. So I think it's like maybe he dropped out of high school. I don't know.
Because they call it like year 4 or something in Canada.
He's really confident and for no reason. He calls himself a healthy specimen when he's broken every bone in his body. He's just great. He says, I'm a healthy specimen standing on the threshold of life. He's like 42 and has broken every bone in his body. I just love, it's inspirational. All right, here we go.
So
This is, and
I
then
know
we'll just,
Oh my God!
it is Kenny Powers.
Yes,
This guy,
yes.
the full
Holy
goatee,
shit.
the
So-
curly hair, possibly permed. It was.
and this man is a
80s.
lovely man. This guy is a lovely man. He's insane, but he's about to tell you all and me what I'm like. He admits what fame, the quest for fame is all about, but he
Right.
doesn't, he says something so earth-shatteringly honest right here, but it's just amazing anyway. And I'll
Okay.
shut up.
Oh no.
This is the guy who tries to jump it.
This
and
is
whose
Ken.
lifelong quest it has been to try and
Yeah,
jump
and
it.
he does he's been also doing stunts along the way, but he wants this big monster stunt because he wants to be the greatest daredevil of all time. And right before this clip, Evel Knievel comes out and checks out they were going to broadcast this on Wide World of Sports, but then they decided not to because they thought he was going to die.
Oh,
So,
right.
so
really?
Evel
They're
Knievel's
like
in this
a-
documentary. Evel
Wow.
Knievel's in this documentary, and he comes and assesses the jump and talks to Ken, and Ken's thrilled. You know, Ken, he was a relentless human being, and he had two personalities that he talks about. He's like, there's Ken Polachek, and then there's Ken Carter, because his real name's Ken Polachek. He's like, Ken Polachek is the one who says, maybe you shouldn't do this jump. Maybe it's not a good idea. But then Ken Carter says, what are you talking about, you pussy? So it's like a very, very, there's so much.
Inside you are two wolves,
It's a-
and both of them have pretty normal last names.
Yeah.
Polachek or Carter. Yeah.
Like, why didn't he give Ken Carter a cooler
That's
name?
so funny. Yeah, why didn't he call him Ken Jump or something?
Yeah.
So,
Or Kenny
okay,
Powers. Okay,
let's
so
see
this
if
is
this
him.
is the
This is
part.
on
Yeah.
Fame. You said this is him sort of speaking.
Yeah, he's going to talk about why he jumps. And
Okay.
it turns out this is why you do stand-up, why you play music, it's just amazing.
Some work harder at some things. Some sacrifices are a little more than others. So therefore, they deserve more. You know, if it's money, if it's glory, no matter what it may be. I always said that, and when I first started, I said it's money. But years went by. I knew that wasn't it. I then began. It's challenge. It's all a challenge. It's a challenge, and it's a starvation for popularity. Is what it is. It's an ego trip.
That's it right there.
Popularity.
Shit, dude, nailed it.
I
If you
love it.
had just been liked by 3 more people in high school,
I love it. You know, I just
What a
love it.
phrase.
It's just, and he throws that in. You know, he's like, at first I thought it was money, you know,
yeah,
and then I thought it was the challenge. But then I realized,
that ain't it.
No.
it's challenge and a starvation for popularity.
Yeah, moving along.
I just love that so much. I want to start doing that everything I do. When if I ever get interviewed about anything, I'm just gonna be like, listen, it's a starvation for popularity
Right.
primarily.
Yeah.
I also like to paint. I like to paint. Interview with Van Gogh. Yeah, I like to paint, but I'm
Yeah.
also starved
And
for popularity.
Fucking dying over here,
And I'm
man.
guessing-
Anyway, I just
Somebody like me already?
Right.
yeah. So that
The-
just was like amazingly honest.
right.
He's
and
an endearing
now I'm
guy
so
because of that.
invested. Now I'm like, I just want to go to the part where he jumps the fucking car. But you know,
Well,
I
it's
wanna-
so
I wanna give it
complicated.
the whole thing. Yeah.
It's like there's a corporate guy who comes in and tries to make him jump when the ramp's not ready.
Of course.
And he's like, I don't want to die, you know? He's like, I don't want to die. The ramp's not ready. And he's like, yeah, it is. I think it's going to smooth out once you get up to speed. And once you get up to speed.
It's going to smooth out.
And this guy who says it's going to smooth out, who's trying to kill Ken Carter because the money men are like, get him to fucking jump the car. We got film rolling. And this is costing us
Wow.
money because there was a production crew to shoot it.
Yeah.
And they were from Hollywood for real. They were like, came in from Hollywood. They kept saying in the documentary, these Hollywood guys. And they were like, the Hollywood guys were like, listen, man, we're burning daylight. Get him to jump
Yeah.
the car. So there's all this intrigue.
Right.
And then there's
Yeah.
just like, things like that. Like, and there's also tons of people misusing metaphors and old sayings and stuff. Like that guy right before, he'll say like, they were like, you think Ken can do this? And he's like, well, a man's got to bite off a hunk and fight it till he can, like he uses a lot of
dot.
There's a ton
trails
of
off.
there's a ton of misused sayings
All right.
in it.
You got to fight that hunk you bit off.
Yeah.
I just realized we haven't taken a
Okay,
break. We got to
sorry.
take a break. We'll come back. We'll keep talking about the devil at your heels. We'll be right back. And we're back. The other thing I like about this is that this is a glimpse into what history was like before the invention of like film. It was basically a quest for flight with people doing the stupidest shit you could possibly imagine to just like hurl themselves into the sky. Like that was just man's eternal quest. And we've like totally lost that because we all like fly on airlines now, and it doesn't like, it's not impressive. But like if you read, like once we achieved flight, like it was all anybody wanted to talk about. Like the pilots were like national heroes. And it's just funny that like 70 years on, this guy's still like, what if I like made up a new way?
Right.
Yeah, what if I can fly a Lincoln Continental?
But it's not sustainable.
Then how much would I get laid?
Right.
Yeah.
What do? I'm a pilot. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, really?
I'm like the Wright brothers, except like with a car.
Yeah, take Henry Ford and the Wright brothers, take out the Nazi stuff, and you got me.
Yeah, so he ended up years later, not very many years later. What am I saying years later? Like 5 years later? Because this was shot between 78 and 80. I think maybe it came out in 80. Or maybe it was shot in over 4 or 5 years. Maybe it was shot from like 76 to 80. I can't remember. But it was shot over a long period, and it was worth the wait because it got weirder and weirder. And that's why I really love this movie. I mean, it's just like one of those things where if this guy, whoever made this movie, I forget his name, and I should know it, but it's not the directing that gets me. It's although it's good, but it's the fact that he captured this. This is a story that would have been talked about, and you would hear like, oh, this guy tried to build this ramp and stuff, but we get to see it in all its glory.
Were you talking about this on Cold Brew Got Me Like?
I've been talking about this almost exclusively for 9 years.
I'm just looking at the comments section, and the second comment is, celebrity Chris Crofton told me to watch this. I'm doing so despite it being free.
Wait, what is this? Is this on? We're not live, are we?
No. I'm looking at the comment section of the YouTube video right here. At
oh
Casey
my
Snyder.
God.
3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Chris. 3 weeks ago.
God. I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Your fucking influence is, you're potent, dude.
Wow. I've got a serious reach in the obscure documentary comment world.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying I'm only 6 minutes in, and I'm feeling like this could be the greatest documentary of all time.
It is. It is, without a doubt.
I think I have to really, as much as I want to skim to the end, I'm like, fuck.
Here's
this
the thing.
might be one of the documentaries I watch.
No, we gotta
Guess
watch
what,
it,
Jack? You know what? Miles isn't going to watch it.
What's
He's
that?
not going to watch it.
No, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to say that shit.
This is proof positive.
This is what happens. This is what happens. People say this is
Chris
exactly
Crofton rule of documentaries.
This is exactly what people who are not going to watch it say.
It now.
This is exactly what people who do not watch it say.
I fucking you're just
they
already
say all of it. They say all of it. They say they have to watch it.
Documentary consumption.
They say they have to watch
just
it.
Just imagine you doing this on a date. You're like, oh, it's great, and they go, oh yeah, I got to check it out. Yeah, you're just fucking saying that. You're not gonna fucking.
That's
watch
like that
it.
Norm Macdonald.
You're just like all the other ones.
Lying piece of shit.
I tone it down on dates. Yes, this is a lot like a date, but I tone that. I don't get so aggressive about like you're not going to watch it.
This episode
is
called,
similar.
Yeah, we're gonna call this episode the Criff Crofton Dating Simulator.
It's sort of like it's sort of like a first date, except I don't react quite as badly about like you're not going to watch it. You're not going to watch it. Like I get a little bit like, oh, maybe you are going to watch it.
Yeah. No, this.
Yeah, maybe you are going to watch it. I don't think you are.
No, I've definitely.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah. I say stuff like that on dates all the time. Hope springs eternal.
Yeah.
And they're like, never going to see that guy
Just
again.
like,
they're like, so Chris, what was it like being a comedian and musician? Oh, well, just you got to bite a big hunk off of life and then, fight it to the end. Just do what
I mostly do it for the art, but also starvation for popularity.
starvation for popularity is so
I really love it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But I love it. But yeah.
So that's a little selection, but I'm excited about this video podcast because I do think it'd be fun to play some of these things. We're done with that part, right?
What?
Yeah,
the
we're
videos,
done with that part.
right?
I mean, I don't know. Like, Chris.
I think so. Yeah. Unless you're overrated as a video, like a bad video that you want to show us.
Oh, well, overrated is what was I saying it was going to be? Overrated,
not knowing about your documentary.
Not knowing about my documentary, but it's not time to promote my documentary yet because it's coming out in the spring. It's coming out in March.
Okay.
But it's just to mention, it's a finished documentary by my friend Seth Pomeroy, who already made a great documentary about Silkworm, the band from the 90s. And it's called Couldn't You Wait? Mm-hmm. So if you want to see Seth's work already, he's made a nice documentary, really nice. I cried. about Silkworm. One of the members died in a car accident, but in my documentary, nobody dies in a car accident, but someone does break their hip. And Seth was there the day I broke my hip. He was filming.
Oh, wow.
Because he was in town for my album release show.
Is that when you
2018?
Slipped?
Oh my God.
Yeah, in 2018, I was going to have a show at the Bootleg Theater.
Right.
And in Los Angeles, I moved away from Los Angeles in 2022, but in 2018 I was there, and I went roller skating with some friends of mine, including Jim James, from My Morning Jacket, and who I just sort of met. I just sort of met him through a friend of mine who records my records, named Kevin Ratterman, and we went roller skating. Well, we went roller skating.
Where,
and
Moonlight?
also I want to mention these guys.
Where'd
Yes,
you go?
at Moonlight. Yes,
all
at
right.
Moonlight.
Just making sure you're at Moonlight roller skating as one
And
does in
I
Los
had never
Angeles.
been.
Did you fall because you were bending down to pick up the names that you?
Oh shit! Okay,
All
we
right.
can close down the show.
I'm
We can
just-
close down the show now.
No.
I'm Chris Slumps. You can actually watch me slump in my chair now.
Wait, how did you fall? Were you trying to do something?
It's
new
relevant.
Because you also broke your hips slipping on ice.
Or that's
No,
right.
no. I broke my scapula.
Clavicle.
Scapula.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep
Sorry.
track.
Yeah.
Of this man on disability.
Wait. So how did you? Were you trying to do like a triple axle or some shit on roller skates?
No. And the reason I bring up Jim is because Jim ended up playing my show instead of me. That's why I mentioned it. Because I had just met Jim.
Yeah.
And we were just like getting to know each other through, I don't know, just doing things that rock stars like to do, like
Hell
I guess
yeah.
roller skate.
Right.
And, because why not?
Slamming
I mean,
heroin and
roll
roller
bounce.
skating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rock shit.
I had to borrow money from him for my admission to the rink. Because rock stars are running around with enough money to go into roller rinks,
Hell
like
yeah.
just falling out of their pockets.
Yeah.
So we went roller skating, and turns out the drug I'd been on for 20 years, Depakote, had caused bone loss. So I fell down fairly normally, but it wasn't an Aretha it was right when Aretha Franklin had passed away. And it was Aretha Franklin tribute night, and they started playing Rock Steady, and I started wiggling, and I fell. And I broke my hip.
Oh my God.
And I broke my hip, and then the roller rink was so used to people breaking shit that they were just like, I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I ruined Aretha Franklin tribute night. Please get me out of the lane. I'm ruining it for everybody. And they're like, this happens every 10 minutes. Sign this clipboard.
Yeah.
And the clipboard said like, I was never roller skating or whatever.
Yeah.
And then and I signed it,
I've
and you're
never
in
roller
shock.
skated.
Yeah, and you're in shock.
Okay.
So you sign it, and then you're like,
They put you in a room in the back, and there's 3 other people there. They're like Depakote.
you just sign something that says you owe us money.
Right.
I would have signed
Yeah.
anything. So Seth was there to shoot the damn album release party.
Uh-huh.
And so he was making this documentary. So he was going to put this in the documentary. He'd been shooting it since 2014. So this is 4 years into making the documentary. And then instead he was filming when I fell. Or no, my friend was filming when I fell. And then he put,
So the fall is in the documentary?
yes. And it's not a dramatic
I gotta
dramatic
watch
fall.
this documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
You're
and
never
I'm not gonna
watch
watch it either.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
based on what you said, I gotta watch this one.
So anyway, yeah, that means that's what everybody. That's like Norm Macdonald saying when he got thrown into rehab after being drunk twice, and he was like, "I kept saying I'm not an alcoholic, but it turns out that's what alcoholics say."
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
so he got anyway. So then Jim James. The reason I bring it up is because my album release show was a bigger success because I wasn't there, which is pretty funny. Jim James played instead of me because he felt bad that I broke my hip, and he played one of my songs too. He covered one of my songs,
that's
which
cool.
was
That's
so
cool.
nice.
Oh, that's
and
so
that's in
cool.
the movie too. But then this ties into Devil at Your Heels, which we just talked about
Naturally.
for the whole show.
Right.
So Jack's looking at the clock.
it
He's like,
around.
okay, we got 1 minute left. So he got me being loaded into the ambulance. And I was saying stuff from Devil at Your Heels when I was getting loaded into the ambulance. Because there's a scene in Devil at Your Heels. There's a scene in Devil at Your Heels where he's getting loaded into the ambulance and he's saying, we'll be back tomorrow night. He's like, give me the microphone. He goes, he's right at the beginning of Devil at Your Heels, he smashes, because his big thing when he's not trying to jump the St. Lawrence Seaway and the yellow Lincoln Continental is he just jumps junk cars over like a bunch of other junk cars
Other
and then
junk
lands on a bunch of junk cars. So the landing is on junk cars, but when he lands on the junk cars, it like hurts a lot. So he like sometimes, so his leg went through the floor of this car and hit the transmission. So he was like, I broke that leg I hurt. He's like, that's that leg I hurt in Dallas or whatever. He keeps saying that, like, it's that leg. Don't worry. It's that leg. Oh, that's it.
Hold on. Well, I now again, I have to find out what. It's just so funny when people are like, "Hey, something bad happened to me," and I'm going to use this moment to reference my favorite documentary.
Well, so what happens is, he breaks his ankle or whatever. He says it's sprained, but he's lying. And there he is right there. And so, yeah, that's it. He's talking to the microphone. So he says, give me the microphone. Because all he cares about is that he's worried the crowd isn't going to come back tomorrow night. So he goes, listen, I sprained my ankle against transmission. It's an ankle I hurt in St. Louis or whatever. And like, he's like, as if that's important because he's in shock.
Let's hear from old Kenny himself.
Yeah.
I know.
He's on a gurney, just trying to make sense of where he's at. Is that the microphone?
The one I broke in Houston. But
It's the one I broke in Houston.
We'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. They're just going to take me an X-ray. I don't think it's broken. I think it's badly sprained. I slammed up against the side of the transmission. But believe me, we'll be back here tomorrow night. At 8 o'clock sharp, we'll be back here tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dude, this guy is shaking because he's like in shock. Like the adrenaline, you can see him be like, ugh.
I was in shock too.
And then wait, so what did you do? Did you say, hey, give me the microphone?
I said I'll be back tomorrow night and something like I was saying that when I was getting loaded to him, the cameraman being loaded into the ambulance. So and then people were like, oh my God, Chris is magical. He's like always in a good mood or something. Like he's even being funny when he has a broken hip. But I was in shock.
Right. And so the most you can do is like, wait.
Like my friends were like, you're so, oh my God, nothing gets you down. I was like, no. Like as soon as
I'm just
the
starving for popularity. I'm just hungry, bro. I'm hungry.
My fucking ribs are touching. My ribs are touching.
You think you break a bone and you're not hungry anymore?
No, but it was anyway.
Starving.
It's like I do get when I get funny if I get like pumped up, like, and
sure.
so like coffee or in this case, adrenaline from a broken hip. So I was like doing all these jokes and people were like, man, nothing gets him down. And then the next 2 weeks in the hospital, they came and visited and then they saw a man who was down.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was 6 years ago. And this documentary is now done. It's called Nashville Famous. He's submitting it to film festivals right now. And it's really great. It's really going to be great. I hope it gets more people to listen to my podcast and come to my shows and whatever else. But I'm just grateful that he's doing it. It's really nice.
That's really cool.
It's really nice.
It sounds awesome.
It's a funny trip.
I'm definitely going to check
it
out.
It'd be so cool. We should do an LA premiere, dude. Not just watching it. We should blow this thing out, man.
Well, there's the other thing is my record's coming out that same time. So we're coordinating it.
Wow.
So we're going to do my record and my documentary. So if I don't get, some money out of that, then I'm just going to,
well, dude, if you have it in LA, we're going to be there for sure. For sure.
Well, we'll figure something out, but I'm excited for you guys to see it.
I won't lie. If I'm gonna,
I'll be there, but I won't watch the documentary.
I don't care if
I know. Be at the party.
I've resigned myself.
I'll turn the other way.
I've resigned myself. I know. There's just cat videos. Cat videos are better.
I'll be in there, but I'll be on my phone the whole time, and I'll be like, "Oh, is it over?"
I was just imagining a version of Munchausen syndrome where somebody like repeatedly hurts themselves because it makes them funnier.
Right, I was just thinking that too. And, like, when I get that adrenaline rush.
I get funny when I get the adrenaline rush.
You're like Gallagher, but you just hit yourself with a hammer and shit.
You know what's fucking sad?
Uh-oh.
Alcoholism functions sort of that way. When I was hungover, that was the funniest I ever was because you're that sort of half like punchy kind of thing.
Right.
And I used to kind of live on that. Like if I drank enough the night before, then all the next day I could kind of ride on that punchiness. And I enjoyed that sort of like that funniness that came from being hungover. And then when it started to wear off, I just drink again. Right, so anyway, that's just you were trying to make a joke and now it's sad.
No, that's just made it real.
Hey, there's a little sadness behind every joke.
That's what this show's about. We got ups and
don't
downs.
do it. Don't break your hip to get jokes. Yeah, it's not fucking worth it. It fucking hurts.
Not all of us get funnier.
You're not everyone's built for that kind of shit. But yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. I'm still dealing with it. I just started going to physical therapy again 6 years later to try to get it stronger, because it's like breaking your hip is just an absurd thing to do.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not supposed to do it that young anyway.
It's your whole
You're not-
chassis,
I
man.
I was a whippersnapper of 49.
Yeah. Well, everything's built on that thing, man. You got to keep the hips right.
That's right.
Them putting me on the X-ray table, I was genuinely screaming when they were putting me on the X-ray table. Not ironically. Not
screaming, we'll be back tomorrow night.
Just screaming.
Give me the microphone, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
It wasn't like a Teenage Wasteland kind of scream at the beginning.
No, exactly. It was not. No. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. No, it was a real. I've never had a real yell of pain like that. Like these guys were trying to put me on.
Is that in the documentary?
I was like, no, thank God.
Well, now I'm out.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll close things out. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, hi. And courtesy of Christy Yamaguchi, Maine, Will Poole, we found out about this clip from Jamie Kennedy. Hadn't thought about Jamie Kennedy in days before I had seen this. It'd been a couple days at least since I'd thought about it.
Well, how many days had it been since you watched Malibu's Most Wanted?
Like, yeah, that's the thing.
That's on loop.
Probably like 3-4 days.
Oh, damn.
So by the way, so documentaries, it's impossible to get people to watch. But Jamie Kennedy movies, you just tell me about one, and I'm there. Yeah. But this just continues a long, proud tradition of people, like celebrities, announcing that they're conservative. I'm sure that this can't be the first time he's announced he's conservative. It's just the first time that I've seen it. And looking like hell. Yeah. Looking like they've been floating face down in a pile of fast food wrappers.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is just a, vlog from Malibu Most Wanted's Jamie Kennedy.
So if you're voting left, you're one of three things: brainwashed, getting paid, or deviant. Oh. That's it. What? If you're still considering the left after everything I just told you, assassination attempts, even people that don't personally like Trump still believe in him, how he's targeted. Trump is clearly not a perfect person. I'm clearly not. Clearly there's a lot of stuff there. But you have to look at that. He's targeted. Are they trying to take him out because he's gonna shit up in a good way?
Oh, he looks
okay.
He looks pretty bad,
Jamie.
Dude. Like what's going on with him?
All right. So first of all, I don't know what you're talking about. His shirt matches his background.
It's a regular shirt. I don't know what you're saying.
Find a new angle. Yeah.
He looks so bad I can barely recognize him.
Yeah. Clearly he's struggling with something. Some kind of demon there.
Struggling with the truth.
Yeah.
The weight of the truth.
Well, yeah, these people don't ever look good. Like, Jim Brewer and Roseanne Barr and
John Voight,
Bill Maher, they all look like shit. They all look like they don't look well. I mean, Bill Maher, I guess I included him sort of as I consider him part of the problem too. But these people, it's a gross, nasty.
No, you're allowed to include Bill Maher on this podcast.
Yeah, it's just a gross, nasty point of view, and it's well, anyway, it just makes people gross.
He's clearly been like online way too much, like with his you either deviant, you getting paid. He sounds like a fucking character from like Manchester on the Sea or something.
It seems. Did he burn down a house with a bunch of his? Wait, what? I don't know, so I'm not gonna. The plot of Manchester by the Sea. Is that what? But no, probably just his career went in a direction he didn't want it to, and he never really came to terms with that. But
Kid Rock. Yeah. Kid Rock's a good example of a guy that if you really get a good look at Kid Rock, he looks like shit. And I
don't think you need a good look at him. You just need to
look at him. It's true. But if you look at he really.
Let's call him Robert Ritchie. Okay, let's use his government name. Kid Rock is too cool for someone who's actually comes from a wealthy family.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it's yeah. I really, it just makes me sad to see people so starved for popularity.
The election is bringing everybody out. Like, it's just so weird too, because you see more and more of this shit with like celebrities being like, the stakes couldn't be higher, man, for the deviants to take over, and socialism will happen to everybody, man. Take it from me, I had a terrible New Year's special about 14 years ago that I hope people don't remember or look up on YouTube, because that was also a fucking disaster. I don't know if you
Jamie Kennedy had one.
Oh my god, yeah, it was like a local one he did in, like, I think it was in Orange County or something, and it was one of the like most disastrous New Year's Eve specials you could have ever seen.
You know, a lot of people thought RFK Jr. was a big loss for the Democratic side, but this is the Kennedy that really hurts the most for me. It's like, I think it's a cliche. How do you sleep at night? Because like, that is the question that you have with people who like are having to do like burn this amount of calories with like inside their brain, doing the like cognitive dissonance and like somersaults and, you know, bend over backwards to like, you know, make sense of the world in a way that yields what he's saying. And I think just the answer is like, they don't sleep well.
I'm just so baffled that a guy who had such amazing jokes about talking to black people, that it didn't go better for him. This was just one that came up. I ever said Jamie Kennedy black jokes on YouTube. I said, this shit is not going anywhere good fast. I just have to see what the fuck he's saying here.
I know black guys like me too when they meet me. Because they always compliment me with insults.
Doing a black accent.
They see me at the mall, they're like,
oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Jamie Kennedy, you stupid.
Okay, that's enough.
Jamie Kennedy sees all. He's not going to let us say shit like that.
Reminds me of Rogan.
His stand-up special?
Yeah, same kind of stuff. Just I don't even know what it is. It's just like, I'm famous, so you're going to laugh when I say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called inflection comedy. There are no jokes, but I might talk different. And then that's a joke.
Like that story Patton Oswalt told about being at the casino or and like, I forget what quote they kept yelling at him, but he didn't even get to do any material at all. All anyone wanted to do was
hear him say a line.
He just said stuff from movies and everybody roared. And he was like, I got paid like $20,000 for an hour of just standing on stage because people knew who I was. And he's like, this is not what I got into comedy for. He's like, I didn't have to do anything. Everyone was so drunk and just excited to be in the room that's with someone they had heard of.
Well, Chris Crofton, we hope, we wish that for you. A world where you could just show like up. Just show up and say lines.
Get paid and go home.
Show up and say lines from Devil at Your Heels.
I want that too. Yeah. And people also need to get a job. Like Jamie Kennedy, man, how bad do you want to stay home and float around in your pool that this is how you got to make money? Go get a regular job. I get it. You've had the day off. You've had the day off for 30 years. But if this is the only way you can continue to have the day off, you might want to look into stocking some shelves.
Chris, where can people find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
You can follow me on @The Show on Instagram, which is the main thing I'm on, which is because I'm a basic B. And also Twitter @The Crofton Show, where you can find me if you sift through a ton of hate speech. And then you can find me mainly on my podcast, Cold Brew Got Me Like. And now I've expanded that in wild ways. I have a Cold Brew Conversations show now. And I have one episode so far, and I actually edited the whole thing myself. And I ripped some YouTube stand-up from my friend Kristen Toomey, and I interviewed Kristen Toomey. But I mean, I put the stand-up in there and all the shit. I put in the songs and the music, the background music. I finally can make a podcast on my own with no help that sounds decent. So watch out. I'm going to start interviewing everybody, including Miles and Jack, if they'll let me. And I'm going to be doing like my favorite comedians and whoever, like even like I'll do my favorite person down the street too. I want to interview normal people, like, not normal, you know what I mean? Like fucking civilians. You know when comics call regular people civilians?
Yeah, you know, normies, dude. Fucking regs.
That's the worst. It's mostly open mic. It's mostly open mic comedians who say that. But anyway, not that. How would I know about that?
I don't do open mics.
So that's it. That's it. Just check out that and watch out for this documentary coming out in March along with my album.
And is there a work of media, Chris, that you've been enjoying?
Oh yeah, I was going to show my friend Sam Severin. She's a comedian in Atlanta. She puts up things that I like. It's like not her. She mostly retweets, but I can't really. Let's see who was the genius who invented the lip gloss that hurts you? The lip gloss that makes its process known. That's not good.
I like that one.
Okay, well that's one of Sam Severin's retweets. Let me.
That would be a great stand-up persona. Is just getting up there and reading from your notes app. Here's saying something really funny and then be like, "That's not good."
But they're jokes that kill. But yeah, they're jokes that kill, but the delivery's so fucked up.
I guess I'm too old to understand what that even fucking means. But anyway, Sam Severin, follow Sam Severin at Waitress Boner. She retweets great stuff and she also tweets great stuff. But I don't know why. I don't know how to read tweets or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I think the inflection was perfect. Miles, where can people find you? Is there work of media you've been enjoying?
Find me on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere they got @ symbols, at Miles of Gray, GRAY. You can find Jack and I, obviously, on the basketball podcast. Miles and Jack got Mad Boosties. You can also find me talking 90 Day Fiance on 420 Day Fiance. And some works of media I like, some tweets. One is from at Bobby Likes Beers. It says, AI is coming for your jobs. I'd like to see AI get absolutely no work done and then throw their coworker under the bus as soon as their boss asks about it. Yeah, see, those are human moves that AIs cannot make. And PJ Evans, what a streak. What's going on with this dude's account? Because it's like heat rock after heat rock from these tweets. At PJ Evans, this is another one. It says in parentheses, Build-A-Bear employee gets home from work. Do you even know how many bears I built today? And here you are sitting on your ass playing on your computer. Wife, I make $400,000 a year. You don't need to work there.
I have a PJ Evans one also.
Shout out PJ Evans.
Shout out PJ Evans at PJAYEVANS, who tweeted, "Hey man, be careful taking a nap. One of my buddies had a dream where he was getting chased around."
That's funny.
That's just a cool thing to tell people. You can find me on Twitter at Jack_O'Brien. You can find us on Twitter at Daily Zeitgeist. We're at The Daily Zeitgeist on Instagram. We have a Facebook fan page and a website, dailyzeitgeist.com, where we post our episodes and our footnotes, where we link off to the information that we talked about in today's episode, as well as the song that we think you might enjoy. Miles, what song do you think people might enjoy?
You're going to like this one. This is an artist called Sam Austins. Who is from Detroit, a Detroit-based artist. And look, Detroit music is some of the best music out there. This one's called Pretend Friend. I don't know how to describe this genre-wise. It's like Andre with Outkast E, but also there's like some electronic and some rocky elements. It's really just a really dope track, and it's worth listening to. So this is Pretend Friend by Sam Austins.
All right. We will link off to that in the footnotes. The Daily Zeitgeist is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast. That is going to do it for us this morning. We are back on Tuesday to tell you what is trending. We are off on Monday for Indigenous Peoples Day. Have a great long weekend, everybody. And we will talk to y'all on Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you.